how y'all doing TikTok? I'm not really comfortable on doing this, but I have got a lot of people from my TikTok and my life period. Ask me story time on how I actually killed my brother and losing my father. First started in 2022, start of 2022. You know what I'm saying? From starting of 2022, I was already gone. My mental was gone. I already was in the streets. I was thugging. Had a mindset like I was gonna die here. I told my mother, I told my father, like this what it's me. This who I am. I don't hold that energy now. You feel me? So that ain't even in me. But starting off with my brother, that whole day was weird. I feel like you could feel death in the air. And I felt death in the air. Even my brother had sat down and told me the energy, the vibe was weird. And I felt it. I'm like, dang, the vibe is weird. So we get down to it, you know what I'm saying? I'm making my little money. How I do everything. I used to break in cars, you know, how I get, you know what I'm saying, steal little cars, you know what I'm saying? I hope I ain't incriminate myself. So through that night I got a little couple bread and we spent money on some gas. And we went right back to my homegirl house who's a stud, who's my best friend still to this day. We went back to her house and we had started smoking. And my gun was already put up in the house. It wasn't nowhere near me. But we had to go back to the store and we had to walk to the store. But during that time I was doing a lot of things and I had a lot of people after me. And I was like a walking target everywhere I went. Like 2 days before that, we was walking to the store. We got shot at twice, not once, twice
Wow.
in one night.
Wow.
So asked my brother, I'm like, do you want me to grab the gun? He was like, yeah, go grab it. Mind you, I never asked my brother to grab my gun or nothing. I just asked. That's why I tell people I always listen to your intuition. When I grabbed the gun, we went to the store, came back, no problems. And when we had came back, I had got that thought in my mind, like, put the gun up, put the gun up, put the gun up, put the gun up. But I didn't put the gun up. I just didn't put the gun up. Some told me to put the gun up. And how my gun was positioned at the time, it was in this pocket. It was in a pocket like this. I always walk around. I always have one of. I forgot what you call type of these, but one of these,
Varsity
and I
jacket.
always got a jacket under. I don't never wear a coat, and I had my gun right here. And I had my gun right here. They playing music. As they playing music, we getting hype. We having fun. We smoking. You know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere, the room stopped. The room felt weird, and we started talking about killing. They was like, "And if anything come through here, else you better get the bus." And ooh, you know how it go. They was just talking. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm the only one with a gun. So I feel like if people don't be around guns and they get to that time, the energy started to be weird. But this what got me right here. My brother yell out, man, if somebody shoot through the window right now, man, and the shoot hit me, man, that bullet going straight through me. Damn, ain't nobody catch, but we continue talking about like just violence. But as we talking about violence, we hear arguing outside because she has her window open because we smoking. As we hear the arguing, I'm not paying no attention for real. I'm zoned out because, mind you, like, night before I was taking so many drugs, like my mind was observed to everything that I was consuming. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. Like my mind was unfocused on everything that was going on. I could not be focused, and I was already diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia, PTSD, depression, anxiety, all these things before this. So as I hear the arguing, my brother said somebody at the window. My brother and Kayla. But at the time I didn't know they was playing. At the time I'm taking it as a serious thing. And as they said that, I grabbed my gun. I turned my head. When I turned my head, I see the flash from the light. And as soon as I turned my head, I stood up. And my brother like, man, Elton, watch where you waving that gun, man. I said, cut ain't one in the head, not one in the head, it's not one in the head. But as I'm doing that, I slipped at the same time because I had my shoes off. The room was cluttered, and I slipped and I fell. And when I fell, the gun went off fire. Mind you, no one knew they was shot. Not even my brother. My brother hit me. He said, "Elton, what is you doing? What the f are you doing?" He hit me. And when he hit me, I'm like, "What the fuck?" I look at the gun. I'm like, "This motherfucker just went off." And Caleb's father yelled out, "Who shot?" And my brother tapped his shoulder. He said, "I'm shot." He fell, but when he fell, he hit the edge of the rail. Everybody in the room panicked and they ran out. He shot his brother. He shot his brother. I went to go pick up my brother. I'm in shock. I didn't know how to feel. Like when you go through that, you don't have no emotions. And I went to go run and go get my grandmother. After I went to go get my grandmother, my grandmother tried to put a aid on him, and my grandmother snatched my gun and she yelled at me, and I had to snatch my gun back. All my brother kept telling me is to go and I love you. He said, "Go, I love you." I took off running, snatched my gun, and I took off running. Whistle where to lay my head over the night. Woke up that next morning and my face was everywhere on the news, social media platforms. I remember going downstairs and hear my auntie say, "You on CNN News." I'm like, "Ain't no way I'm on CNN News." And backstory, I was already on the
This is crazy.
the radar of the police, so they was already like on me.
Wait, so you slipped and fell and shot your brother and ran? Real quick, I want to give a special shout out to my subscriber. His Instagram is Fath Rito. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I'm gonna put it on the screen. But basically, I've been telling y'all how to make money playing games on your phone. And the brother sent me some screenshots. He made $104 in earnings the other day. It looks like he right now is currently at $191. Listen, I already told you about Mandy Slim Goody T. I believe that's her Instagram. I'm gonna put her information on the screen as well. The DMs that she sent me. I told y'all people are really making money playing games on their phone. All right, people are even leaving comments and saying, "I thought this was a scam." It's not a scam, y'all. Try it out for yourself. Click the link in the description below or the link in the comment section. All right, these apps, they're literally paying people just to play games on your phone. It's extremely simple. Some of the options is even just reviewing a Netflix show, things of that nature. But just sign up, see what's available, constantly go back and just check it out because you can easily make an extra $100 just doing this, or $200, depending on how much money you want to make. But y'all, try it out for yourself. These are real life people getting real life results. And if you catch yourself making money, send me your screenshots on Instagram and I'll give you a shout out next. All right, let's get back to the video. You slipped and fell. Your brother's on the ground shot. And you ran. Okay. I see exactly the direction that I'm going to take this video. Because, like I said, I don't like to give y'all just bad news if I don't have some type of something that y'all can learn from this. All right. So please stick to the end.
So why would you do? You don't never know. Like you think you slick. Yeah, I thought I was slick too. I was on their radar too. So I kissed my mom, called up to the school because that's the only place that I knew officers, trustworthy officers that I be with every day to turn myself in. When I turned myself in, I went to the detective and they asked me backstory, and I told them the backstory, and then they jumped to the gun situation, and that's when the whole subject switched to the gun and to other things that I was doing, to where I hang at, to other crimes, and I asked for a lawyer and got up out of there. I'm just gonna this long, so I'm gonna give y'all a part two. I'm gonna give y'all part two. Give y'all
All
part
right.
two.
I think I've heard enough of this story. First of all, that is a very sad story. you know, and it's one of those situations like you live by the gun, you die by the gun. And people, this is why you don't need to be just toting around guns. Now, I mean, especially if you don't know how to use them or practice proper gun safety. This takes me back to a couple of days ago when I made a video about school just not teaching us things that we should know in life. One of those things are gun safety. Why did it take me to join the military to learn gun safety? So I want to give you guys a couple of gun safety just tips. I treat every gun like it's loaded. I don't care if you know there's no magazine in the gun. You don't point the gun at your friend. You don't look in the muzzle of the gun ever. The only time the gun should see the light of day is if you're shooting down range and the person told you it's time, or it's time to use your weapon. You don't just flash it, be ready to show it. It does not matter if there's a mag in there. Let me tell y'all something. I've seen a gun go off just by pulling the charging handle to actually eject the bullet to go forward. I've seen a gun, instead of the bullet just going forward, it's shot. Okay? I've seen guns just jam on crazy stuff. Listen, you can't just trust a deadly weapon to just operate properly. Always point a weapon to the ground, away from anybody. Somebody gives you a weapon, the first thing I do. This is the first thing I do. I remember one time one of my homies, he came over to my crib and he couldn't wait to show me his gun. Bro, listen, I am not impressed by nobody's gun. Do I like them? They can be nice, whatever, but bro, we gotta play it safe. First thing I did, he showed it to me, dropped the mag, make sure it was on safe and all that. Now, I cleared it, make sure there was no bullet in the chamber, and then, I held it to the rear. If you guys never had like an assault rifle, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But in other words, I made sure there was no bullets in there. We not playing like that. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is muzzle awareness. Be careful where you are pointing your weapon. I don't care if you just got it. You don't buy a gun from the gun store and be like, oh yeah, this is nice. Somebody hands you their gun, you like, oh yeah, this is nice. It'll be that split second that you don't think there's a bullet in there. Boom, the gun goes off. And if it hits somebody, you're facing murder. You can hit yourself easily. These are deadly weapons. Muzzle awareness. Your muzzle, to my people that have never held a gun, the front of the gun, where the bullet comes out, be careful where you are pointing that. It should be pointed to the ground, not to your foot, not to your friend's foot, not to your friend's chest, not to your friend's face. Like when I watch these music videos and these dudes is toting guns right to the cameraman, I'm like, this is ridiculous. These dudes got their lasers pointed to the cameraman and the cameraman just like this. The next thing, make sure the weapon is on safe. If there's a gun around, you need to know whether or not that gun is on safe. Hey, yo, your gun is on safe? I'd rather be safe than sorry. Because if a gun is on safe, and let's just say there's something in that dude's pocket or something like that, and it pulls back the trigger, which is going to take a lot of strength. But depending on what kind of gun he got, I don't know if it's a loose trigger, I don't know what it is. But if it's on safe, the trigger cannot come all the way back. Most guns, not all guns, most guns have a safety button. Know if the weapons around you are on safe or not. Know if the weapons around you have one in the head. When you hear people say, what is one in the head? One in the head is basically having a bullet just ready to be shot. Essentially, you ain't got to charge it back. You ain't got to cock it back. When you see this in the movies, they're basically trying to put one in the head because most likely there was none in the head. Yeah, you had a magazine in there, but there was nothing in the head. So if you don't charge it back, in other words, and you shoot it, no bullets is going to come out. No bullets is supposed to come out. I'm not saying try that out, but no bullets is supposed to come out because nothing is in the head. Once you put one in the head and you take it off safe and you press that bullet, you press that trigger, a bullet's supposed to shoot. Know if the people around you have one in the head. Yo, bro, you got one in the head right now? Nah, bro, it's just a magazine in there. Know that. Ask these questions. These questions can change your life if you ask the proper questions. if you know about gun safety. To me, this is the most important one out of all of them. When you hold a weapon, this is just like the muzzle awareness. You do not hold a weapon like this with your finger by the trigger, ever. Only time you hold it like that is when you are ready to use it. If you are showing your friend your weapon and you're holding it, you don't hold it like this. You see a lot of these dudes doing that, and they playing around and they going like this, like they about to use it or something. That is extremely dangerous because all it takes is a finger slip to, oh, my bad, yo. When you hold a weapon, your finger is supposed to be like this. Let's just say this is the weapon right here, right? And this is the trigger right here. Your finger should be like this at all times until it is time to use it. Until it is time to use it. Do not have your finger in that trigger hole. Because in this dude's story, where he went wrong, he had his finger in the trigger hole, from the sounds of it, in the trigger hole without knowing whether or not it was time to use it. Trips and falls, that's his story, trips and falls, and winds up pulling it, which is why you don't put your finger in there until it's time to use it. Again, this is something that people need to learn in school. Instead of seeing all these rap videos talk about, yeah, toting guns, bro, you need to know how to use a gun. There's a lot of people out here shooting guns like this, and that's why you're hitting a grandmother, because you don't even know how to aim a gun. You don't even know how to properly hold a gun. And now you got dudes killing their siblings because they out here toting guns. So people, all I ask is understand gun safety before you put your hand on a gun. Because although that gun is supposed to protect you, that gun could easily be used against you if you don't know how to properly use it. Another thing I want you guys to think about when you get your first gun, or if you have a gun, that's on-the-spot maintenance if your gun jams. Yeah, most people never even think about that. You don't even know how often a gun could jam, especially if you don't clean it. You catch yourself in a situation where you got to protect yourself and your gun jams on you. For whatever reason, your bullets done bunched up in the gun, so now you can't shoot. These are things I want you guys to know. Instead of just thinking about, oh, I'm going to give me a gun and now I got power, like that Nas song. You don't have power. This gun could easily be used against you. Lock your gun away. Especially if you're a new owner, don't have your bullets and your gun in the same place. Because if somebody comes across your gun, if a kid comes across your gun, please understand gun safety. There's too many people trying to be cool with guns, but don't actually know how guns work. It could be to their detriment. That small piece of ignorance can cost you and the people around you's lives. All right, so anyways, y'all, I just wanted to give y'all that real quick. I seen this video on TikTok, and I was just like, you know what? Before I watch the whole video, I'm gonna just put it up on here, and we'll react to it at the same time. Now, I mean, so I hope you guys learned something. Please just do your research. Watch YouTube videos on how guns work if you don't understand guns, because I hate stories like this because that could have been prevented. A gun in your hand, you slip and fall and shoot your brother to his death. Talk about prevention. Anyways, y'all, it's been your boy Ty Boogie, man. If you want to make some extra money just playing games on your phone, all you got to do is click the link in the description below. These apps, they're literally paying people just to play games on their phone. It's crazy every time I think about it. See if it's for you. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If you catch yourself making money, make your money. Until next time, y'all, it's been your boy Ty Boogie. Y'all, please be safe. All right? I'm out of here, man. Peace.